An art practice that is good for the soul is affirmation art journaling. And welcome to this week's surprise, unexpected affirmation art journaling page. I decided to do it because I need it, and I believe if I need it, many others might. So I'm just going to repeat the affirmation. I am open to new ways of improving my health and well-being. My body knows how to heal itself, and our bodies do. And we just need to be open to new ways, natural ways, all the different ways that our bodies can heal. And I so needed this week, so I decided to hop on my channel and do a few affirmation art journaling pages. It's sort of like a timeout while I'm gathering and doing other things, and a bit of a break and a healing break for myself. And I hope this helps you as well. So I'm doing the same process. I like to stick to it specifically for my affirmation art journaling pages. And it's a process that I like to evolve slowly, but I like the pattern of layers and process along with the affirmation that it brings me. So I like to do this, and it opens up the mind and the state of mind when you repeat the same actions, the same thing. The things that will change and evolve are me getting closer to, I guess you could say, our higher selves, higher frequency, healing states of mind, mind-body connection, and all of those wonderful things. So I felt blue today, but not the darker blues that I've been working in, the lighter ones, the teals and the turquoise. And I've been wanting to just water entered my mind. So, and these are other things that I've been thinking of for this summer to start. Can't wait to get to them. And these are the colors that these paintings are that I'm going to rework. This gave me the painting idea, but of course, the color palette idea to use with the feeling of this affirmation. So, using the color shapers, just going across horizontally, and making many alternating layers of marks, thin layers of paint, water, and collage, and text. I didn't put in any stencil marks this time, and I had a feeling that I wouldn't need it. It would have interfered with it, though looking at it now, I could have, most likely, but I think if I did, I would have used very, very subtle layers, colors, values in the upper area, maybe some dark in the lower area. But the collage here, as you're seeing me use right now, is a palette paper. Your standard peeling of palette, where every time you put a new color on, and you leave the colors behind. And I love this. This is the first time I've used this paper as collage, and it's very transparent. It's very plasticky, of course. Whatever they're using that is waterproof, but it's transparent or translucent, so I love it, and it needed to go on the bottom. I didn't feel for this one that it needed a lot of collage. I wanted the color shaper, the lines and the marks, and just a little bit of collage for this one. And I really enjoyed the calmness and the horizontal energy of this page. So I'm just playing going high contrast and then covering it up with a very thin layer. And now I've discovered at certain angles, the color shaper does make these swooshy marks across your surface, depending on how wet or dry your color shaper is, or your paint, that is. So, needing more golden teal. I've got many, many aqua colors. This blue is light blue. I forget what it is, but it's a beautiful light blue. It is Liquitex, and it's the fluid, and really nice to use with the color shaper. I've used the Liquitex Basics, the heavy bodied paints as well, adding a little water, and it still works really well with the color shaper because of the resin, the rubbery texture, or the material that the color shaper is made out of. This mixed media pad is a new one, so this is the first page of, I think I want it to be in this style. I want it to be affirmations for healing, as I just really, really, really need this right now. Families going through lots of loss right now and different things, so this has just been a wonderful, wonderful little session. And of course, listening to beautiful, calm music, whatever you like to use to really stop thinking, get calm, and connect. So what do you like? Do you listen to music? Is it listening to nature sounds? Is it nothing, just painting? I would love to hear what helps you with your creating of your affirmation art journaling pages. And I really hope that you create along with me. These are the newest ones that that I will be adding. But stay tuned coming the summertime for the 30-day affirmation art challenge. I don't like to use challenge and affirmation together, but as I've said in my previous intros, it's an invitation. So it'll be 30 days, every single day, and it's very transformative. The last one was, so stay tuned. And if you're here for the first time, if you Google affirmation art journaling, I come up. I am just all over that one particular Google search, more than, say, art journaling. And I just like to check every once in a while. And I have, I think, over 60 affirmation art journaling pages that you can use and follow for inspiration or guidance. And I hope you check them out. And notice here, when I added the water, it even was better for the effect that I was looking for. As you can see, I didn't want it to turn too green, but I love the shade when you're using a very simple palette. See, I could have went up and down like a vertical stroke and then across horizontally, and I only wanted it a very thin layer. And now that it's dried, it's even thinner. And then, of course, I go back over it, and you can alternate. It's quite an interesting process here. So what I'm finding is there's a lot of layers building up, or which seems like a very rich surface that builds up very quickly, especially if you're combining it with your words that are very special, and line, drawing. I have a piece of, I haven't put it down yet. So, there it is. It's right on the bottom left side of the art journal. You can see the black lines on the tracing paper. And it sort of just melts away when you put it on your page. And that is really, really cool. So I thought I would add the affirmation, I am open to new ways of improving my health and well-being. So being open and making this a positive statement is very important for your affirmations. You don't want to say, I will not, or anything negative. It has to be all in a positive meaning. So as you can see, that blue paper, it was just too opaque. It wasn't flowy. It almost blocked the energy on the page. So I couldn't use it. And when I added the words again here and then come over it again, so you can alternate words, text, you can use magazines, you can use a large first letter of any of your words to continue. And using text at the beginning stages, in the middle, and even then at the end where, I like to put my text at the bottom. So depending on where you put them in the middle, beginning, middle, or end of your layers, really has an interesting effect. And this is a piece of tracing paper that I really liked. Same blues, but a richer hue. So the contrast is a little stronger, but not an overall, and of course, slicing this very delicate paper while it's wet is very difficult. So I probably in the future will slice it first and then put it down. And you only need to use the gloss medium, just a regular gloss medium, when you're using thin papers like this. It's actually, it does a better job. It doesn't get all gunked up. Oh, and I'm loving this. You can just see the underlayer, and it needs to go near the bottom where there's some more orange. And I didn't want to cover up all of the texture and energy lines that I made with the catalyst wedge, with the teeth, the toothed one. So stay to the end, and you'll see that I add just a little bit more blue pieces of collage on the left right here, sort of the bottom center, above the orange. And the clear gloss medium all over the page as I'm putting down more layers really, really looks great. How I prepped the page was, of course, adding the gloss around the edge, drying it, then putting the white acid-free tape on it, and then painting the edge with the gloss medium so it didn't bleed. It still ended up bleeding on the right-hand side, but just a tiny little area, so it's quite nice. And I'm just calling these affirmations for healing. So if you're interested, you want to follow along, I have a few more of these specific ones. You'll have to go through the title, but I will categorize these ones, and when you look at the playlists, it'll be up in affirmations for healing. So it'll be easy to find. So the transparency, as you can see that piece, the idea was similar, but of course the colors were not right. It just was too overpowering. This is a piece of newsprint with a layer of the darker turquoise that I like to use from Liquitex on a jelly plate printer, and then brushed with the fan brush, just going with black horizontal lines across, very light. I just felt like putting more of those layers on. They just add a subtlety. You don't see it, but you sense it. And that my work is all about feeling and sensing and all of that. And this one does the same. I guess I just wanted to see how much it would disappear or not. And it really disappears. So cool. Yeah, you can just see it. Just clouds and veils what's underneath just slightly. And what I love with this area is you can see in the middle the page at the beginning peeking through just enough. So going through some blues, going through anything, and of course, as it dries, the different papers buckle up or not. When the fibers in a paper become wet, they loosen. So then you have to, so I just sort of moved with my finger, and drying your page this way takes no time at all. So I'm really liking this process. I think the last blue 3 paintings, I'll leave the card here for the first one, are inspiring more blue. And notice this blue one is so different from those, but which were very watery related, and also the text that I chose for them. Still titling those and putting them up on my website as I'm updating my website this weekend. Now the yellow, it was too thick, it just didn't go. So this page I knew would finish quickly. So as you can see, I'm just continuing those lines from that piece of collage across the page and through, and a few dots. This is the Posca marker. Okay, loving the white Posca marker, coming through with different lines. They just really make a different energy. And then, of course, some orange near the orange. And it's just bringing the eye through. And I decided to write some words. I am healing. Tried the green, but I don't know. Sometimes the marker is just, the pigment doesn't come through, or I needed to shake it more, but I didn't have time while I was recording this. So, one more thing at the top, just that singular symbol. Oh, I forgot about this one. Yes. So I go through one more time. Just emphasizing some layers, covering up just a little bit. And just lightening that up and covering up that blue, pushing it back a little bit more. And all of this is just so intuitive. It's just all of a feel. It happens so quickly, so it's just a very intuitive process. And it just needed lightening up, going from heavy to light. And I put one more thing at the top. And really, yeah, so here I'm playing around with some vertical, horizontal strokes. And it just adds this subtle difference, which is really interesting. So it's almost like creates shadows. And then you let that thin layer dry. You can score through with an awl or a knitting needle. Pencil. So I add some pencil lines, but not until it's dry. So I think I did that off camera, you'll see in the photo. And now for the finishing touches. Oh, not quite. I'm not quite done. Oh, I do that last. So I'm thinking of that singular crop circle at the top, but very subtle. And I didn't want to do the dots because, I don't know, I've done that enough. This one just needed to be different. There it is. So I want to combine it with the blue and the white, and all those colors are up at the top, and you can see I just want a very subtle shape. So I'm turning that around. And these are just stamping foam, anything you find in your home. Mail, packaging, all of that stuff. Making sure I thin the black enough. Nice. And as I'm drawing, I notice that there's a few that I didn't think of and should have, blocking the top a bit more, just with my white cards. So I decide to go and get a rag to wipe it. They get a little smudgy, but, oh, great. So the rag, I didn't get enough water on it. So when I do, it just wipes right off because I protected those layers with the gloss medium. And plus they're dry, but it's so good when you can do that, especially working with paper. There we go. Much better. So it opens that up and the eye doesn't stay there. But the contrast, even though they were very tiny, was too much. So, just adding some subtle circles with my finger, and then I realize they just need to be really similar to what's already there. So just a very subtle, just to bring the eye. It's almost like they're floating in space, and that's exactly the feeling I wanted. And drawing up this layer for the big reveal, the nice clean edge. There's nothing like taking that tape away and seeing this beautiful clean edge. It just makes the page look so finished. There's a couple of tears that happen, but they're very subtle. And I think you can prevent that by scoring it with an X-Acto knife before. That would really prevent that. So, another affirmation art journaling page that was so calming and relaxing. I hope you enjoyed this page, and check out the rest of my affirmation art journaling videos, and maybe that'll inspire you to start your own practice. And it is just such a wonderful way and very powerful. So here it is, affirmations for healing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my store where I have my affirmation art journaling pages as prints and many other things. My Facebook page, all of the links are in the video descriptions below. Here's the close-up. And I will see you in the next video.